Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. Back in the day when I was questioning the whole cooties hogwash, a lot of people came on board as healthy Americans and they said, "Awesome, Peggy." And they joined me in reading between the lies and they didn't believe what the mainstream media merry-go-round was dishing out. But then when I started let me share that with you in just a moment. All of the topics that apparently are off limits that I am not allowed to question. And the hypocrisy is astounding. So buckle up. You're going to love it. And I hope that you're going to love this message from my sponsor. Oh, yeah, there are a lot of people on YouTube who don't understand that YouTube creators like myself are contacted by sponsors who see value in our message. And then they would like us to bring their message to our audience. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And if you don't want to see it, there is something called a fast forward button, but I hope that you will do me the honor for just these several moments here as I share my screen. And we are going to look over at 7 reasons why everyone over 50 should be taking this kind of protein. And finding an honest doctor in this day and age that isn't following in the footsteps of big pharma can feel impossible. And that's why millions of men and women have turned to one Texas doctor. And the 7 reasons he says that anyone over the age of 50 should be drinking this one thing. It's not milk. It's not another calcium-rich drink. Instead, it's a unique protein that naturally declines with age and is proven to significantly increase bone strength and soothe joint pain. It minimizes wrinkles and cellulite. It enhances hair follicle thickness and even reverses nail damage, with users reporting results in as little as 2 weeks. So as a partner of this show, the Texas Doctor is offering all of my listeners up to 45% off of his bone, joint, and ligament restoring formula. You can go here. It's called getnativepathcollagen.com/Peggy. And you can learn all about this product. It has thousands of 5-star reviews, and there are millions of jars sold. And every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk for you to try it today. Again, all my listeners can go to getnativepathcollagen.com/Peggy to get up to 45% off while supplies last. And I will have a link for you in the description box below. Friends, I didn't even want to talk about this Trump event because I thought so many people could just see all the holes in this narrative and that they weren't going to be gripped by all of the emotions and be carried away by all of the adrenaline and fear or ignorance. I thought that most of my listeners were critical thinkers as healthy Americans. And I realized there are people that stumble across this channel and they don't know what I stand for, and that I've been helping people for many years stand up for their rights and understand the laws that are supposed to protect those rights. I've had hundreds of thousands of success stories of people not having to lose their job because of the jab. And I was applauded for that. And then when I started talking about the strange anomalies with the Ohio train derailment, the weird things about the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and so many other of these events in the media, people said, "You go, girl, ask those questions. Let's tear this apart." I couldn't wait to come to your channel and see what your analysis was going to be, until I asked questions about, let's see, the Vatican, and I asked questions about RFK Jr., and I asked questions about the vaccine confidence bill that Del Bigtree is promoting, and I asked why the event on October 7th in Israel was so strange, and that the world's best defense systems in that country failed for several hours. People didn't like me questioning that, that's for sure. And they sure don't like me questioning what happened on July 13th. I'll just put it that way. Oh, yeah. What I did is I asked questions. You see, asking questions is what's called critical thinking. I didn't accept the mainstream media merry-go-round narrative, but the saddest thing of all is how people didn't even use their critical thinking skills. They put words in my mouth, saying things that I didn't say, jumping to conclusions that I didn't draw. Why? Fear, ignorance, high emotions, lack of intelligence, lack of desire to take the time to dig deeper. So that is very strange to me. What's very odd is that these are the same people that came to me for my help. So somehow I have the ability to discern and connect the clots and read between the lies and help people stand up against the government. But suddenly, when there is another event that occurs and I'm asking questions, now I'm on the wrong side of the fence. Now it is the dumbest thing I've ever done, as one commenter said. And there are dozens and dozens of people saying, I'm done with you. I mean, I don't even know who they are, and like kind of announcing their departure. And I get it. They feel powerless. And that's their way of sort of exerting their power and just saying, to heck with you or what have you. And it's so troubling that they won't even take the time to actually consider even one of the questions that I raised. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on in our country, other than it's the junk food people are eating and drinking. It's the pharmaceutical drugs that they're taking. Maybe some people have had some brain damage because of lack of oxygen. I really can't understand how so many people who were on board with fighting against the hogwash in the early days now suddenly are kind of blind, deaf, and dumb, meaning they don't want to see, they don't want to hear, they don't want to ask, and they certainly don't want to be faced with any opposing view that doesn't align with theirs. That's called cognitive dissonance. And I understand for people that haven't experienced that, or they are not willing to entertain a different point of view, that they just shut you down. I've had that when I want to have conversations about abortion, for example, or the Second Amendment, for example, and many other things. Apparently, the only commentary I'm allowed to give on my channel is about religious exemptions and I guess Maui. I guess that's pretty good. I can speak about the strange weather patterns and the spraying in the skies. That's all well and good. But when it comes to questioning an event that's being proposed and promoted in the mainstream media, suddenly it's off limits. So I find that very strange. I probably won't have too many more naysayers in the comment section because they've taken themselves off the channel, which is fine by me. I suppose they'll go find another place where they'll be in their echo chamber and they'll only hear what they want to hear and disregard the rest. La, la, la. Yeah, I talked about that, where people hear what they want to hear and disregard the rest, where they put words in your mouth. So I'm grateful for all of you who are able to undertake a sophisticated, savvy conversation without doing mudslinging, without personal attacks, because that's what happens with these individuals. Rather than even answering one of the questions I posed, or even saying, or even adding to the questions, all they did was the mudslinging and the personal attacks. And that's so sad to me, because over the many years, I thought that more and more people were waking up to the hogwash, to the lies, that yes, I will say they are all in on it, whoever they are. If you think that the government and the politicians are on your side and want to do things on your behalf to benefit you, you have some learning ahead of you. I'm sure that there probably are some in the minority, but in the majority, and when you get to be at the most prominent levels in politics, maybe it's just me, but I don't trust any of them. All right, friends, I just wanted to bring you this short video. I probably will do a couple of more shows about this because there's some very interesting things that I wanted to bring to you about the shoes coming off and some of the other Masonic signs that I know people don't want to hear that. And I understand the cognitive dissonance, but this is your opportunity to expand your mind, to open your mind, to consider another point of view, and actually to consider the facts and the evidence and see if they align with reality. And that's all I ask. All right. Big thanks to all of you who are persevering with me. And I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video, always over at my Substack, peggyhall.substack.com. That's where we continue the conversation.